Hey, Coach. So glad you found the video. Couple things. First of all, make sure you subscribe and like. Second thing, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Let me show you how to put a roadmap and become a nationally ranked coach. I've done it for 30 plus years. Let me help you do that over at teachhoops.com. Let's head off to the video.
All right, welcome to the Basketball Leadership Podcast. Coach and I are laughing because I read the topic before we came on, and I told him, I think your list is too small. But anyway, so before we jump in, yeah, so July is coming. Hopefully you've been golfing and fishing a lot, Coach. I know I have been.
Yeah, we
And
recorded this a little early, so by now I usually tan up pretty good. I'm probably pretty pasty.
you don't wear the brim. You don't wear. Okay, so you should wear the brim hat, and you should not get.
I wear a hat, but I just tan up, and I need to. It's end of July. I better have been on the boat by quite a while at this time.
So my brother had some skin cancer scares. Everything's good, but my dad was a redhead, so we in our family take sun very seriously.
Yep.
So I asked the dermatologist. I said, "Where's the biggest part for skin cancer?" This is my public service announcement, because I thought it would have been nose and ears.
No.
He goes, back and back of legs.
Really?
Yep, because they don't notice it as much. Like here, you're more likely to see it, and it's not going to be the bad one, and they're going to catch it early. He goes, the ones that are bad of the back of the bat, you get a couple burns and that back when you're 12, and that's what gets you, and the back of your legs. He also said Wisconsin's coming up with a new state law that you can't go to a tanning booth until you're 18 unless you have written permission. He goes, two trips to a tanning booth. This is the math teachers in both of us, multiplies you by 40%, something like that.
Seriously?
Yes. He goes, they should be illegal. And you think about it, it's like you're tanning.
Yeah.
You're burning your skin, basically. Anyway, so that's don't go to tanning booths, people. I'm sorry if you own a tanning booth company, but they should be illegal.
Yeah. That's good.
They're not as popular as they used to be, I don't think.
No.
One of my kids in class worked at one, so I told that story when I do my life lessons, and I go, yeah, sorry.
How did that go over?
She laughed. She just works there. I don't think she's tanning much, but I said, I don't know. All right, so today's topic, the 8 realities of being a head coach, and that's what I was laughing with Coach about. I said it should be 80 realities of being a head coach.
I mean, there's obviously more, but this was probably one of the most popular Twitter posts I've ever done. I put it out there a couple times, and I had well over 1 million impressions and a lot of feedback from it. And I think, the 8 things that I came up with that really for me were the most relevant is, number 1 is it will consume you. I mean, if you do it right, it's so easy to get all in as a head coach, and it takes an inordinate amount of time, and it is all encompassing and consuming. And I'll go through them quick. You can pipe in if you want. Number 2, there's going to be critics. And I think that's pretty much guaranteed. You have to go in knowing that. You cannot be someone that is worried about making people happy. You're going to have critics, and that's just a matter of fact. I think number 3, we're not in it for the money. I kind of joke about this, but we made it to the state championship this last year. We probably added a good month onto our season. So it's a 4.5-month season. I mean, longer if you include preseason stuff that you're doing. The only person in our school that made more money for our state tournament run was our band director, because they get paid by the performance, and they come to all the pep bands, and they're just getting more and more and more. We're not in it for the money, and don't calculate your hourly rate.
It's community service. I tell people it's my community service, because it really is.
It is. There's no overnight success. It takes time. You got to put that time in to make it work. The next one, and this one should probably be number 1, but you need a supportive spouse. And we all know that. If you do not have a supportive, excuse me, a supportive spouse,
You won't
it's going
do
to
it.
be, you won't do it. It won't last. My wife is a saint. I'm gone a lot. Yours is probably the same. And it doesn't matter what you coach. It takes a huge amount of time to do it right. And then 3 more. Number 6, you cannot make everyone happy. Similar to there will be critics, but you cannot make every player on your team happy. You can't make every parent happy. The only person you can make happy is yourself. And that's knowing that you're doing it the right way and doing what's best for kids in the team. Number 7, you can't want it more than the kids. When you're young, I think you do. And I think as you start having your own kids, you start to understand, and that gives you a little bit of a balance that helps you become a better coach, to be honest, because you don't get so hung up on, you don't let a 15-year-old ruin your day, right? And
Because they can. Yeah.
they can if you let them. And the last one is, with all that being said, it is still worth it. It is a great profession. It's a demanding profession, but the relationships, the rewards, everything that goes with it makes it so worth it in the end. But there's a lot that goes into it, and those 8 things resonated with people. Which one resonated with you?
No, a couple of them, but I'm gonna add something. So I think it's a very unique job in the sense that, like, so I
agreed.
like I'm a competitive person, and it's a
Yep.
way to channel the competitiveness, but it's also like I never feel more alive than I'm going go to practice or go to a game.
Yep.
It's like, what jobs do you get to do that in, and then and I get to spend time with people I like, because they're on my staff, and
Mm-hmm.
we were texting today about some stuff, and it's like, so it's like, it's the journey. It's like taking time to,
Yeah.
enjoy the ride is one thing I would definitely put on that. One of the realities is sometimes I don't think people enjoy the ride.
Yep.
I think George Bush Sr. said that to his granddaughter just before he passed. It's like, enjoy the ride, enjoy he was 90 something when he died.
The joy is in the journey.
Yes, it really is. And
Yep.
I'm telling you, when there were parts of it that I didn't, I was so laser, and maybe that's why but it's time. Yeah, it's time to do that.
The one that you said there, that it's so true. I feel the same way. I think I'm incredibly competitive, and this allows me to channel that drive to try to compete and put a team together. But the one that you said that is very true is how it makes you feel. I mean, the reason I got into coaching to begin with, and education for that matter, is I was going to go into business, and I'm a 2nd-year college guy, and I went, and my varsity football coach said, "Hey, do you want to come coach our JV team?" And I'm like, yeah. So I did it for 2 weeks before I left for college. He let me call plays on a JV B squad at that time game. And my God, I never felt so more alive. And that feeling just said, you know what?
It's an
This is,
adrenaline that I can't describe
you
to
can't
you.
explain it.
Can't describe it. Can't describe it. That's the one thing I'll miss. I'll miss the time with the guys. I'll miss but I'll miss that. Like, yes, I'll miss that. I'm just gonna miss it. But it's, again, partly a young man's game. Even though Gino, it's this summer, signed another 5-year. I think he did that. He did. He's 70. I think he also did that so he could recruit. So he'd tell the recruits he's going to be there. We'll see if Gino's around in 5 years. We'll see.
But it's so true. There's so many realities, but in the end, it's all worth it. And
it is best profession ever. I never went to work a day in my life. Best thing ever. I know.
Well, and that's why you're not doing it for the money, because the time
Right.
that we put into this, it's a passion.
I've teased about this. I'm married to a psychologist. Every coach should be married to a psychologist. I'm telling you, that's a given.
She's probably been doing a case study of you your entire life. She
did a case study for me. She's getting her specialist degree in Bloomington. She did a case study before we got married, and I always go back to that. I said, you knew what you were getting, or you were a bad tester. Like you knew what my personality traits. So I love that. So go through those 8 again, Coach.
Yeah. So we have number 1 is it's going to consume you. Number 2, there will be critics. Number 3, you're not in it for the money. Number 4, no overnight success. 5, you need a supportive spouse. 6, you're not going to make everyone happy. 7, you cannot want it more than the kids. And finally, number 8, it is worth it in the end.
Yeah, there's usually 2 people happy on the entire team. Maybe.
Yeah.
The 3rd player thinks he's the 1st player, and the 6th player thinks he should be starting. And anyway.
And that's the
okay.
beauty of
but if
putting
they have a relationship
together
with you, then it doesn't matter as much. Like it matters to them, but it doesn't matter as much. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like
they have to know you care.
They have to know you care. All right. Till next week, Coach.
See you, Coach.
Hey, Coach. So glad you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed it a lot. Actually, if you did, subscribe and like, and then go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better.